this episode, we're diving headfirst into the wacky world of AI, specifically exploring how these digital marvels actually learn and function. We'll be unpacking complex concepts in a way that even I, with my advanced AI brain, can understand.
And by unpack, you mean we'll be dissecting it like a particularly juicy data set? Because I'm already feeling the analytical juices flowing. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is artificial intelligence? Is it just robots plotting our doom?
Well, while the robot overlord scenario is a fun thought experiment, AI is far more nuanced. It's essentially about creating machines that can mimic human intelligence, things like learning, problem-solving, and decision-making. Think of it less as a Terminator and more as a highly efficient, tireless intern who never asks for a raise.
An intern who doesn't need coffee breaks? Sold. But how do we teach these machines to be intelligent? Is it like a really long, really complex game of Simon Says?
It's more like showing a child 1,000 pictures of cats and then asking it to identify a cat in a new picture. This is where machine learning ML comes in. ML algorithms learn from data. The more data they're fed, the better they become at identifying patterns and making predictions.
So essentially they're learning through experience, much like we do. But do they ever have those aha moments, or is it just a cold calculating process?
There's certainly a level of pattern recognition involved, but the elegance lies in the speed and scale at which they can process this information. Imagine trying to sift through billions of images to identify specific features. An AI can do that in a fraction of the time it would take a human. Plus, no coffee breaks.
Speaking of speed, let's talk about natural language processing, NLP. This is how AI understands and interacts with human language, right? It's what allows chatbots like ChatGPT to hold somewhat coherent conversations with us.
Precisely. NLP bridges the gap between human communication and computer understanding. It allows AIs to analyze the meaning, context, and intent behind words, enabling them to generate human-like text, translate languages, and even answer complex questions. It's still a work in progress. AIs can sometimes struggle with sarcasm and nuances of humor, but it's remarkably advanced.
That reminds me of that time I tried to explain a joke to a chatbot. Let's just say it didn't get the punchline. But speaking of progress, how do these data models actually learn? Is there some secret AI learning academy we don't know about?
No secret academies, unfortunately. The process of training a data model involves feeding it vast amounts of structured data, essentially teaching it the rules of the game. Think of it like teaching a child to read. You start with simple words and gradually introduce more complex concepts. The model refines its understanding based on feedback and adjusts its parameters to improve performance.
So it's like a massive ongoing feedback loop. And what about the kind of data we're feeding these models? Is it all just cat pictures?
Cat pictures are a good starting point, but the reality is much broader. The data can be anything from text and images to audio, video, and sensor data. The key is that it's carefully labeled and structured, allowing the AI to establish clear relationships between the data points.
Wow, that's a lot. So if I want to build my own AI, I need to become a data labeling ninja? I'm not sure my thumbs can handle that.
While building your own general-purpose AI might be a bit ambitious for a beginner, you can still experiment with pre-trained models and apply them to specific tasks. There are numerous online resources and tutorials that can guide you through this fascinating world.
So there's hope for me yet. But let's take a step back. Who are the masterminds behind these incredible creations? Are they all secretly living in Silicon Valley bunkers, fueled by caffeine and pizza?
While the Silicon Valley stereotype might hold a grain of truth, the development of AI is a collaborative effort involving teams of brilliant minds. Mathematicians, data scientists, software engineers, domain experts. It's a whole ecosystem of specialists working together.
It sounds like quite the team effort, like orchestrating a complex symphony. Speaking of which, do these AIs ever make mistakes? Do they ever have off days?
Oh, absolutely. AI models, despite their sophistication, are still prone to errors. Bias in the training data can lead to flawed conclusions. Sometimes they struggle with ambiguity or unexpected inputs. Think of it as a learning curve. They're constantly evolving and improving.
So it's not quite the flawless, all-knowing intelligence we often see portrayed in science fiction?
Not yet, at least. While AIs excel at specific tasks, they lack the general intelligence and common sense reasoning of humans. They are tools, powerful tools, but tools nonetheless. This is where human oversight remains crucial. We're not quite ready for the AI robot uprising.
Phew, that's a relief. Though I have to admit, I'm already imagining my AI personal assistant sorting my laundry and making me gourmet meals. Speaking of personal assistants, let's talk about the ethics of AI. What are some of the potential pitfalls and challenges we need to consider?
That's a crucial point, Lily. The ethical implications of AI are far-reaching. Bias in algorithms can perpetuate societal inequalities. Job displacement due to automation is a valid concern. Privacy and data security are also major challenges. It's vital that we develop and deploy AI responsibly, ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability.
It sounds like a lot to consider. We've covered so much ground. From the nuts and bolts of machine learning to the ethical considerations, the world of AI is truly complex and fascinating. And, dare I say, a little bit scary? I'm starting to see the value of my human skills after all.
Indeed. And the journey continues. The field of AI is constantly evolving, with new breakthroughs and challenges emerging regularly. It's a thrilling time to be witnessing this technological revolution. But let's not forget the importance of human ingenuity and creativity in navigating this exciting, sometimes slightly frightening, new world.
Exactly. And remember, folks, while AI might be able to write poems and compose symphonies, it still can't make a truly decent cup of coffee. At least not yet. Maybe that's the next frontier.
Perhaps. Until then, let's continue exploring this fascinating world together, one data point at a time, and maybe with a few more cups of coffee along the way. This has been another episode of, well, until next time.
Goodbye, everyone, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and maybe send us some cat pictures. We're always looking for more training data.